Welcome to another episode of Bucket List Coach Web Show Live. And we have Tami back in the studio, my co-host, always doing amazing. And we're just going to play a quick video and we'll see you back.
More information about these body balancing skinny drops, or you wanted to find a way to make some extra money from your phone, or perhaps even make 6 figures in 6 months. If you're only interested in learning about the drops, watch the first part about this video. Otherwise, watch until the end. My name is James Ng. For the past 13 years, we've been sharing people how to transform their bodies with these body balancing drops. Not only did I use them and lose 25 pounds in 40 days with no exercise purposely, since then, we've helped thousands of people around the world balance their bodies, improve their health, and as a byproduct, get to a healthy weight. Don't just take my word for it. Let's hear what Dr. Crystal has to say about this.
Hello, my name is Dr. Crystal Vance. I am so excited you are getting information on the Slenderized drop system. You're looking at getting a set of these. There's 2 bottles marked bottle 1 and bottle 2. I've personally used them to drop over 160 pounds. I literally weigh less than what I lost. This is a natural way to balance your hormones, and the side effect is weight loss. Let's start with bottle 1. What does this do? Bottle 1 is a homeopathic blend. Homeopathy has been around for many years. This is nothing new, but the science that's involved in it is incredible. We're looking at it to support your thyroid, to increase your energy, to help with your digestion. One of the things that we know is when your hormones go out of balance, typically the first place you're going to see a problem is with your digestion. Let's get that back under control. You're also going to notice your appetite change. Maybe you're one who just never feels full. You don't hear that sign from your body to stop eating. That's a chemical hormonal reaction. Maybe you're someone who never feels like eating. That's not normal either. It's 2 extremes. Let's bring it back to balance. Bottle 1 is going to be helping you do that. The other thing that bottle 1 does is it helps to control your insulin resistance, working with your pancreas. What I love about these drops is that they're chemical free, they're hormone free, and they're plant based. So all of this is supporting your body to do what it should do naturally, not forcing your body or giving you hormones that takes you further out of balance. If you don't use your hormones, you lose your hormones, especially for us ladies going all the way back to when we started birth control. We gave ourselves hormones and now our body has been struggling to figure out what to do since. So this is a great time to reset the clock. That's bottle 1. What does bottle 2 do? And this is increased energy, adaptogenic herbs. Things like rhodiola. The power of rhodiola is it's one of the number 1 things to help with cortisol production in high stress environments. So if you're someone who's been under high stress, then I want you to know that utilizing bottle 2 is going to really help you. These are very simple. You're going to use these drops with a strategic menu, which we're going to give you. When you order your drops in, you're going to receive both sets of drops along with a book. And inside of this little booklet gives you exactly what to eat, but it comes down to eating real food. We're not dieting. I want you to focus on getting the calories. Many of us have been starving for way too long. So you're going to be eating lean meats. You're going to be eating vegetables, all of them, and you're going to be eating fruits. Real food giving you real results. This isn't going to happen overnight. 30, 60, 90 days. But if you stay eating on plan, what you are going to witness is a true increase in your metabolic function. When your metabolism starts to increase, all of your body starts to function like it was intended to. And that side effect is weight loss. There's all kinds of body functions. This is not just for those trying to lose weight. I've even heard of many women no longer having hot flashes. That's been reported. Makes the guys happy, makes the ladies happy. What I hope is that you will get yours today.
Wasn't Dr. Crystal incredible?
Wow. Wow.
She gives a good overview, huh?
Definitely. So let's talk about first how we can help.
First, let's talk about how you made
Over.
me. First, let's talk about how you made me get into my bathing suit.
It is
No.
bikini season. Yes.
It's just I think it was National Bikini Day and you made me do this. I thought, okay, I'm working with her. I'm challenging her. She challenged me. I rose to the occasion, but
Well, let's talk about how accountability is really key. So what's important is having someone keeping you accountable. I mean, I keep myself accountable, but I talk to Tami probably about 3-4 times a week, and we talk about what we did, like our walks. The one of the things that I need to work on is actually journaling everything that I'm eating, because I'm always go Energizer Bunny. And so my results have been pretty amazing. I just came back from Cancun on August 26th. I was 208. So by myself, I actually released from 208 to 196. And now I'm 185. So it's all about keeping myself accountable. For instance, a couple of years ago, I actually had a really bad liver issue. I ended up getting cirrhosis of the liver. And so I took these drops that actually really helped me drop the weight, and I was able to recorrect my liver. So you can recorrect your liver. And over the last few years, I've cut down my alcohol, like down to almost nothing. So alcohol is going to create all those sugars. Also, when I was having a bad day, I would have a Heath bar. Now I have a blueberry, a little bowl of blueberry with organic honey. And I shop exclusively either at Sprouts or Trader Joe's. And so let's kind of talk about some of the things. I'm going to talk about first what I'm doing, and then you could kind of add to that with what's on our list. Some of the stuff that I do isn't on the list. I do oatmeal, but I have a small portion of oatmeal, and I put fresh berries in there. I have no cheese. I do tacos once a month. I do wine once a month. And my birthday's coming up the end of July, and I'm going to be in Texas, and I will be trying a steak. But I actually turned down a big old ribeye for 4th of July. So I'm just kind of changing things around a little bit. For instance, I have one of those zucchini spiral machines. So I will do that with the Trader Joe's pineapple salsa. It's very mild, has very low calorie, very low sugar. What did I say? It was like 2 or 3 grams of sugar.
Yeah.
So read labels. Let's kind of talk about label reading again. We talked about that last time, how important it is to.
I want to just highlight. I want to interrupt you, Cindy, a little bit. Thank you so much for hosting this podcast, first of all, on this amazing, gorgeous Saturday of the 4th of July weekend. But for those of you who don't know me, I'm Tami. I live in Southern California, a little bit north of Cindy. And Cindy and I have known each other through networking, through events. And what I really, really appreciate about Cindy is how she shows up with like full enthusiasm and fully herself. Like she doesn't try to hide. She doesn't try to pretend. She's a food blogger, and she's a celebrator of people and celebrator of events and little things of life that keep us going, like National Bikini Day. I mean, who even knew there was such a thing, and stuff like that. So I love that Cindy shows up for us because it makes us show up better. And I want to touch on, because you mentioned accountability. So I have been partnered with this health and wellness company for over 3 years now. And I love partnering with people who really want to take their health to a different level. And Cindy, what I see about you over the last 2 or 3 years is you've made lifestyle changes, lifestyle differences that are stick-worthy. And you don't always do perfect, and you don't pretend to do perfect. I mean, you're a food blogger. Yeah. You go out and you tell people about their food, and you write about it, and you celebrate it. And what I love about your journey is that you do this in a realistic way. And I know you're using the drops in different seasons for different reasons in your life. And right now, the drops are really helping you keep that extra layer of discipline to yourself. And yes, we are accountability partners. So as an accountability person, you can let yourself down when nobody else sees. You're like, you can justify it. But when you know somebody else is watching, and when you know somebody else is counting on you and celebrating alongside of you, you show up better for them, sadly, than you do for yourself. So I think you're showing up more powerfully. I know I'm showing up more powerfully. And little things like finding out, just educating. You don't know too much, and it's okay if you don't know everything, but like swapping out, one thing for a Heath bar and finding out if, you can, if that's a good swap for you, or is there something else to consider? So that comes into the food labels. And we've talked a little bit over the last few weeks about different elements to look for on the food label. And I know you read like everything. And so I try to hone in, like if weight loss is your goal, I try to hone in on certain things. For example, how much sugars are you getting? How much carbs are you getting? And what time of the day is that? Are you getting it first thing in the morning when that's the first thing that you're eating? And so food labels are definitely important. I'm not a calorie counter. I'm not a carb counter, but I do say it's very important, if weight loss is your goal, to be aware of where you're at daily, where you're at on a regular basis. What ballpark are you in? And if weight loss is your goal, you definitely need to be staying hydrated to flush things through. And you definitely need to be hitting a very high protein count as well.
Definitely. We talked about yesterday, there's the Asian market here by my house, and I got really hungry. And so I ended up having these dehydrated wasabi peas. And actually what it takes place of is sushi. And I'll probably have sushi like once a month, like when I have a special occasion or something like that, because I still love my sushi. But I'm able to replace that and be okay with that replacement. Gluten, for example. Tomorrow is National Dive Bar Day. I'm actually supporting a local dive bar and pizzeria. They have the most amazing pizza. And so I'll just take a picture of someone's pizza, or I'll take a little bite, just to promote the business, because that's kind of my MO, is to connect with other local business owners based on, National Day or a national month. And watch your fats. I mean, it just all goes back to your labels, your sugars. I use honey instead of sugar. Read a lot of dressings. Actually, if you look at the very first ingredient, it's high fructose corn syrup, which is, for me, I can't do that because I get migraines from that anyways. But you just got to be mindful. And we're in our 50s, and I'm going to be 60 next year. So my goal is to get to 155 by July of 2025, which I'm sure I'll probably hit before the end of this year. Because my last challenge, I made 55 pounds in 70 days, I think it was. Wow. So you have to tell yourself at 80 some years old. I mean, I'll go ahead and be real and raw. My mom is in convalescent care. She's 86 years old. And that's her life. She watched TV. She's in her bed. She does coloring and, stuff like that, activities at the facility. But that is not where I want to be. My mom also has the CLL leukemia, which is in older adults. And the doctor said that there's a good chance that it's hereditary and that I can get that CLL leukemia. So if you have a doctor who says that a certain disease is hereditary, you could actually break that mold. It doesn't mean that you'll get dementia. It doesn't mean you'll get leukemia or cancer. It's all about what you want to tell yourself at 86 years old. Do you want to be in a nursing home? # no nursing home. Or do you want to be experiencing somewhere on a safari, or, we could be hanging out with Tami and our friend the Zings in San Diego, somewhere on the boats, right? Yeah. Yes. So you just had to tell yourself what you want, and you had to envision at 85, 86 years old, what is your vision? and you need to tell yourself what that vision is every single day and make that happen. And at 86 years old, you'll be exactly what you envisioned. So kind of tell my audience how you feel about how important it is.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love, but what I hear when you say that, and I'm currently reading this book in our book club. One of my 2 book clubs is Worthy by Jamie Kern Lima. And
wow. Okay.
Yes, it's so good. We've just started it, but it talks about self-confidence versus your self-worth, and really identifying that as part of your identity. Like, I'm not a fan of the doctor telling you, oh, well, if you continue what you're doing, you're going to have this blah, blah, blah disease.
Yeah.
And I'm not really a fan of that, because what happens, human nature is people accept that as part of their identity. Oh, I'm a person that is going to have XYZ disease. And now it's become part of your identity, and it lowers your confidence about, oh my gosh, what can I do to take care of myself? But what I heard you talk about is also identifying who you are and what you want to be. And also feeling like you're worth that. Your life and your future is worth a good, healthy life. And we can do things that add up to what we want to get to. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be overnight. So I love that you're painting the picture for you aging healthfully.
Yes, because if we don't do it now, we really should be doing this starting in our 20s and 30s, and think about a healthy lifestyle. Yeah. So, but a lot of the young people, they're doing the Cheetos, and I mean, there is a Cheeto type of snack that you can get that's actually made from the natural curd and stuff like that. So if somebody does want to cheat, I could actually give you the name of that. But definitely Cheetos and Doritos, and I don't know if I could name drop, but I am. But yeah, you just have to just be mindful what's in your body, because later on it definitely is going to be a deterrent. And we want to live our life. We don't have to live until 100, but up until it's our time, we want to be healthy until that time, because eating unhealthy actually can shorten our lifespan. Like if we have, like I can't have fried foods anymore, like fish and chips I can't do anymore. My body tells me, no, that ain't happening. So let's kind of go a little bit more about
fish and chips last night
going and not go back. Like, because over the last 3 years, I've gone back, and I'll be real and raw again. I've actually had a really hard time with the diagnosis of my mother's health issues. And so I would feed face. So some people feed face or they drink, right? So I would feed face. And now I actually have half of the portions that I would have before. And like I said, when I podcast, I just eat a little bit of the food and, talk about the restaurant and the food. So it could be done. You just need to tell yourself, you have to think 30 years down the road, 40 years down the road, depending on, how old you are. For those who are watching, you have to just tell yourself every single day. Create those I am statements. And those are huge. So, and this podcast is more about health today, but the health is all a part of the mindset on how you're living your life, the people you surround yourself with. Surround yourself by people who have more than you. I built my travel agency from 2 people to now almost 70 people.
That's huge. So congratulations.
And a lot of it is mindset, relationships, and putting others first. And this product is really amazing for my clients, also for my agents, who want to drop a few pounds and feel great on vacation, because we want to feel great on vacation. And so let's talk about some of the stuff that's on the food list.
Sure. On the food list, we're talking about these drops right here, a homeopathic formula and an herbal formula, a 2-drop system. And we definitely don't claim them to be the magic pill that's going to cure everything. But a lot of times, diet and exercise is not enough, or that willpower that you need is such a struggle. That's what I could speak to personally. The sugar and the salt, that constant justification of, oh, I'm just going to do it this once. But once I start, I can't stop. And I know I'm not alone in that category. And so the drops are helping with body balance. They're going to help so that it takes that struggle out, and discipline suddenly is strong. And once your discipline is strong and you build the confidence that you can do this, now you're going to start craving better foods, and the better foods are all the things we really know. Okay, we know, cut the sugar. We know that sugar is poison to our brain and to our gut. It breeds disease. It breeds the bad bacteria. It also promotes negative health, mental health. Okay. It also depletes your energy. It's going to throw all your hormones out of whack. That sugar is a killer. The other thing is we want to cut out dairy. On the approved food list, it does not include things with dairy. And dairy, if weight loss and anti-inflammation is a goal of yours, we want to cut dairy, because first, dairy can live in your system for 6 months or longer, even after you stop dairy. And it's highly inflammatory, whether you're lactose intolerant or not. If you drink a cup of milk and you're like, I feel fine, that doesn't necessarily mean that your body is okay with dairy. There's still inflammation going on internally in your gut and internally in your cells that dairy plays a huge factor in. So the approved food list does not include dairy. The approved food list also cuts out gluten. And tons of people are gluten intolerant, and tons of people eat gluten and think they're fine.
Well, let's talk about gluten, because a lot of people don't really know what it is. Let's kind of cover that a little bit. We have about 10 minutes left on the show.
What is gluten? It's like a binder that's found commonly in bread. It is unfortunately gluten years ago, I would say generations ago, was different than it is today. Our crops are not taken care of the same. They're not raised the same. And so gluten has been so saturated with different chemicals and genetically modified organisms that it's not the same as it used to be. And our body,
also your skin can itch with gluten, or even like beer that has gluten. And then your head can itch as well. The top of your head can itch if you have a certain gluten product.
Oh, so many things that gluten causes, but our body does not recognize it as something that it knows how to process. And over time, it can build up different intolerances. Maybe you have a gluten intolerance, but it comes across as you now have allergies. But really, your body has built up this intolerance, and so we want to remove gluten during the process of trying to balance our body, and the drops are going to help also gently detoxify. So while you're building discipline, while you're building confidence, while you're reducing the sugar and cortisol, these are going to help with that cortisol spiking. Eliminate the things that spike it. And one of them is gluten, sugar, dairy. Those are probably the biggest things. And different forms of sugar. So for example, alcohol. Alcohol you don't think of as sugary, but it converts directly to sugar as well. So those things are not promoted during this program, when you're on this program. And so if in a perfect world you can be perfect, we highly suggest it for maximum results. But if it's not, if all the stars aren't aligned and you're out and you're celebrating summer and it's the only thing you have to eat, then we just encourage to try to stick to the food list as much as possible for your best results.
Well, let me do an announcement. So I just wanted to let everybody know. So I'm now actually a client of Tami's, and so this podcast isn't about us. This is about anybody who sent you to this video, because this video was sent out to several different people. So the person who sent you to this video, please reach out to them to learn more about these skinny drops. So let's kind of talk about the process for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Well, I want to announce they have been called #skinny drops, and I'm not a fan of the word skinny because I don't think it's about being skinny, but it's a fun, sexy term. So I do like calling them skinny drops for that reason alone. But so what a day looks like is you take these drops 3 times a day. Dropper number 1 will go under your tongue. First thing in the morning, 10 minutes before you eat or drink anything, because it's homeopathic, it's going to go under your tongue and you want full absorption. You literally drop it there. It tastes fine. Like the pickiest of tasters, it has passed their test. You drop it under your tongue. You keep it there for 10 seconds, up to 30 seconds for maximum absorption. And 10 minutes passes and you take dropper number 2. And right when you take dropper number 2 is when you're ready to eat. You can drink your morning, whatever you're drinking, coffee, lemon water, whatever it is you're drinking, and go about your day. So that's the first time in the morning you do both of the droppers. And then I like how you put number 1 on it. And about midday, when you're getting ready to have lunch, you do the same thing all over again. You take dropper number 1, 10 minutes before or after you drink anything or eat anything. And then you do dropper number 2, and then you have your meal. And then the third time of the day, you leave out dropper number 2 because it has no caffeine, but it does have the absorbable methylated B vitamin. And you don't want to take that in the evening, because for some people, they will experience more energy. They will experience not a jolt of energy, but it may feel a little bit harder to fall asleep. And so we only take dropper number 2 in the morning and the afternoon. And then you take it once at night. And now the biggest question I get is, oh my gosh, well, what if I'm fasting? Or what if I don't have my drops during my meals? And we say take them 3 times a day, preferably before a meal. It doesn't have to be with a meal. We're just saying because you eat 3 times a day, it's a good time to do that, because it'll be like right on par. It'll be like a habit cue to take your drops right before you eat. But if you're intermittent fasting or however your eating pattern is, just get them in your system 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, and evening, whatever that day and routine looks like for you.
And yeah, you could simply just be a customer with, either Tami or anybody who sent you to this video. And what's really important is to get your health back on track. So we have summer coming up, but we should be healthy throughout the year. And for me, when I go on vacation, yes, I cheat a little because I want to podcast about more stuff. Like for instance, the end of this month, I'm going to Texas. So I'm not going to Texas without trying a steak. Yay! I turned away the steak on 4th of July, but then I'm going to be back on track. So you just got to train your mind to get back on track. I went to San Diego for a Top Gun event, Top Gun movie night in May. And I had a few things I probably shouldn't have had. And I came back on.
It's not bad.
On track, yeah. So
steak
you just got to get back on track, yeah.
Yeah, steak is on the approved food list. We don't have pork on the food list because pork is considered a dirtier meat protein source. But turkey, ground beef, steak, sirloin, seafood, every vegetable, and the low glycemic fruits are good.
Can you name some of those low glycemic?
Green apples, and all of the berries, raspberries, blueberries, blackberries, those are all good. And if you're exercising, fantastic. If you're not exercising, then do what you're doing right now. These drops, this program does not say, okay, ready, do it all, start exercising, start eating perfect. If you're exercising, fantastic. And if you are exercising, then you might be able to afford some of those other fruits into your diet, into your day. But if you're not exercising, then we want to keep the blood sugar down. And these drops are going to help reduce your blood sugar. They have helped so many people reduce their A1C and their daily blood sugar count. My mom is down 100 pounds actually in about 2 years. It's taken her about 2 years She's done it slowly and gradually and with the use of the drops as well. And she's full-blown diabetic and she does not exercise at all.
Wow.
So it all depends on where you're at. They kind of meet you where you're at. They're going to balance your body where you're at. And then just side note, because this is a great program, there are ways that you can earn your drops for free. You can buy 3 and earn yours for free. So I'd love to share more about how people are doing that. I'm helping people do that, and they feel like they won the lottery. Plus, these drops are in high demand for a lot of perimenopause and menopausal women who are experiencing the horrendous hot flashes. These will help get rid of the hot flashes. So because they're working on your cortisol, insulin, and supporting your thyroid, they're also going to bring down all the things that are helping spike those hot flashes. So they're amazing for those people as well. So they're in high demand. We're in our 50s, so we know a lot of women in our 50s who are looking for relief from those hot flash night sweats.
Yeah, so before we close out, I want to announce again, if someone sent you to this video, this is not just about us, it's about anybody in our company who's having great results. And so if they sent you to this video, you could either tag them here on the podcast here on Facebook or on YouTube, and they will get back to you. So I want to talk about DMOs real quick, and then we'll close out. So some of my DMOs, daily method of operation. Normally I like to walk at 7:30 after Jeopardy because I like to have everything routine. I'm actually changing my routine to 7 a.m. So when I get up in the morning, I have my water, I do my drops, and then I go for my 40-minute walk. So that's one of my DMOs. I try to eat between 8 and 9 a.m. for breakfast, lunch 12 to 1. The kicker though is the evening one. So technically it's supposed to be between 6 and 6:30 at the latest. Sometimes it's a little after, Jeopardy at 7:30. But if you can get that consumption in before 6:30, that's actually going to help. Then you're able to process that food because you don't want to go to sleep after you just ate. And last, I always like to talk about paying it forward. What is one of the things you'd like to pay it forward? And then we'll close out.
How I would like to pay it forward? Oh gosh. You caught me off guard. I don't know. I love to share what I'm struggling with so other people know that they have choices and that they have hope for themselves, because that feeling of defeat and like going to the doctor is not really cutting it. I just want to offer that there's hope. Let me know how I can help you. And I'm happy to give you insights, what's working for other people, so that you can feel like you can take charge of your health.
Yes, and definitely connect with Tami. If you're a friend of mine or a friend of Tami's, if you are a other representative of this company, or you're a friend that is watching from that representative, like I mentioned earlier in the show, you can tag them, or you could just reach out to me and let me know who connected you to this podcast. And lastly, on this weekend, go out there and make a difference. So how I want to pay it forward is I actually want to buy somebody a meal this weekend. Or if I see somebody in the street, I'm going to compliment them. I'm going to compliment them, what they're wearing. They're looking great. There's a great smile, because we do not know what each individual is going through. A complete stranger can be going through something really horrific. And so if you see every person or everyone that you see that crosses your path, make sure that you compliment them. It's super crucial with what's going on in the world. Live in kindness every single day. So I'm going to put you in the green room. Anything else?
No, Cindy, thank you so much. You've been so uplifting and positive, and your energy is more and more contagious. Thank you for all you do for the community around you. Thank you.
Thank you. And let's do a shout out on that book, because it's really important to read. Read is really important for your brain health and for your mindset in business and in personal. Do a shout out to that book that you mentioned earlier in the show.
That book is, her name is Jamie Kern Lima, Lima, Jamie Kern Lima. And the book is called Worthy. And she is the inventor and founder of It Cosmetics. And her journey is amazing. And she's written multiple books, but this one talks about how worthy is different than self-worth is different than self-confidence, and how it can power you to get what you want out of life. So if you pick it up, share a nugget about it. I'd love, and tag Jamie Kern Lima, because I know she would love to shout you out when you share the nugget that you got from her.
Yes, definitely. Okay, I'm going to put you in the green room and we'll close
All right.
out.
Thank you. Bye, Cindy.
Thank you, honey. So there you go. Reach out to the person who sent you to this podcast, and we'll see you just on the other side. Tami and I will probably be on in about a month and a half with more results. We'll see you soon.